show. I'm going to start it off the same way I always do. Thank you so much for tuning in today. It warms my heart. I can't believe how many people are tuning in live and how many people are watching the pre-recorded episodes afterwards. I know you could be doing so many other things with your time, so I really do appreciate that you're taking the time to spend them with us. And on that note, Tanner, hit him with the intro.
Whatty up, boss? Welcome to the Mac City Morning Show.
Okay, so today's guest I'm really excited to chat with. I've known this lady for many years, since I was a little boy, so I'm super pumped for her to be here. As per usual, I'm not going to introduce the guest because they do a better job than myself. So Tanner, if you could hit our lovely guest with the camera, we're going to let you introduce yourself. So who are you, what do you do, and what are you all about?
My name is Cindy Amerongen. I am the Executive Director for the Northern Lights Health Foundation. And what I'm all about is coming to talk to you today and enjoying some great company, great little set, and talk about some of the things foundations do.
Awesome. All right. So let's just get right into the Health Foundation. So you guys pulled off, I believe, one of the best COVID events of the year with your Christmas event.
Yeah, Festival of Trees.
Unbelievable.
You try planning, in August, September for something you just have no clue if anything's going to happen. But yeah, thank you. It was really when you rolled off. It wasn't just us. It was a team of contractors and people with sponsorship that were actually helping us to do it. So really came out well. But it's beautiful.
It was beautiful. Like, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed McDonald Island when it used to be there. But I remember as a kid going to Father Mercury's gym and it being a very intimate, like cozy environment for Christmas. And so having it at the airport this year kind of brought me back to that, where I'm like, oh yeah, this is nice. So my question about all of the different events you did, because you had a bunch of different things that you did, and my little boy loved all of them, especially, I don't know what you called it, but the Christmas lights. That you could go through.
Bright Nights.
Bright Nights.
Yeah, Bright Nights, we were so lucky. We partnered with Suncor, St. Croix Club 63, the regional municipality Wood Buffalo, and they really put a team together that would normally be doing staff Christmas parties, and said, what can we do for the community, and then how can we even further benefit, and which is where the Health Foundation came in. So they did all the infrastructure, brought the lights up from Edmonton with a crew, prepared that space, and we were able to secure 4 nights that we sold tickets for so the community could come. I mean, crazy. I just think about the weather that at that particular time it went from +7, +8 to -30, everything in between. And you couldn't have put any more cars through if you tried. People just loved it.
Lined up down the block.
Loved it. It was great.
So my thought and what I want to ask you is about your thought process, actually. Like, I've been kind of critical to some of the events that have gone on online. Like, everybody's trying their best and like, hey, listen, it's hard times. So you try to do whatever you're going to do. I find that some of the events just fall flat and not everybody's going to attend them, right? But you guys were able to pull off some amazing events. Like you said, that like literally last minute things were changing. And they were very unique in regards to like, hey, everybody had to do different things, but they, in my opinion, all worked. So how did you guys come up with these different, unique ideas to pull off the Festival of Trees in a different way?
Yeah, one of the things that we think about ourselves anyway is that we're really open to opportunities, and we like to call it breaking the mold or breaking the cycle of something. So if something's been done for 30-some years, it doesn't mean you have to continue to do it the same way, but you have to keep the elements. So that's with the festival, we approached it of, it's a festival of trees. We're going to need trees. We're going to need to display them. It's got to be beautiful. People have to be able to see them somehow. Are they going to be able to come through like they normally would with 1,000 people in the room to see them? No, they're not. So we're going to need to extend the time period. What does that look like? Oh, we can only have 40 people an hour? All right, we can do that. So how can, and we just kept building it from there. We can do that. Adding in all the online, like turning this silent auction completely into online We did that in 2 weeks. So we'd never even used the program before. Uh, Putting the online raffle, the toy box. Did you see the toy box? It
Yeah.
was amazing.
My son's pretty choked he didn't win it.
Yeah, that was our friends with AP Maintenance. They really loved doing the toy box, so that was great. And turning it all onto online tickets meant we could manage it at the back end without all the normal volunteers that we needed, because volunteers were also a struggle. People could not come to things, or they could come in very measured ways. So if I had volunteers, I couldn't necessarily have guests. Like, you have to have
Right.
only a certain number of people in the room. So that's basically how we approached it. Is we know the elements we want: beautifully decorated Christmas trees that are auctioned off to a willing audience of people who want to be part of celebrating this season, and then opening it up so the space is available for everyone to come in.
Right.
And that's how we
Yeah.
managed it.
Well, you guys did a
Yeah.
great job. Like,
Yeah.
I attended all of it. I thought it was really good. And even the online auction that you have there, I think a lot of people, I can only speak for myself. Let's not speak for others. I'm over Zoom calls. I'm over looking at things online that are virtual. And I can assure you that I was super engaged and I watched from start to finish your live auction. It was done so well and it was so engaging.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
and I cannot say that for any other. And I'm sorry for anybody else who put something on. I can assure you I didn't watch anybody's.
Yeah.
Maybe the first 5 minutes and I was like out. But your
Well,
guys engaged me for the full time.
Again, keeping an element in, bringing in Danny Hooper.
Right,
I
he's
mean,
hilarious.
He's hilarious, and he's just so darn good at what he does. And he knows everybody, that's going to be part of the bidding, so he can, make it exciting. And it was his first gig in a year
Yeah.
because his stuff kept getting canceled. So him and his new wife drove up to Fort McMurray, spent some time going around the town, having a look, and he just loved it. So that energy was coming through,
Right.
even though it was a Zoom, as you
Right.
mentioned, and
Yeah.
it was fun.
Now, in regards to the Festival of Trees, it's so successful because people know you as well. I think that's a huge element because you've been in this community for many years. So let's hear about that. So what brought you to Fort McMurray? How long have you been here?
Oh, goodness.
You've worn a bunch of different hats in this community.
Yeah, we moved here in October of '90, with a 4-year-old and a 5-month-old baby, and my husband was going to work for Suncor at the time, and that was, we're coming to start a new home, new life. So that was the basics of it.
Yeah.
And I immediately got a job with Keano College as the bookstore manager, and moved from the bookstore manager over a number of years through community education programming. I think that was actually one of my favorite jobs. I did that for 6 years, running the non-credit and programs that were brought in from other universities and brokered programs, that kind of stuff. That was great. That's where I met everybody, I think, in town, and then moved on into distance education for 3 years with Alberta North, and then back to the college for to run the foundation, and then in a leadership role as the vice president for community relations.
Yeah.
So quite a long history there, and everything just built from one step to the next. So it was great.
Yeah.
Out to Nexon, in community engagement and Aboriginal relations, which I loved, and then now the last almost 5 years, going on 5 years this summer, with the Health Foundation.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It's all been cool.
Yeah.
It's all been cool.
Definitely. You've had a career that has allowed you to be in contact with.
And it's interesting you mentioned the hospital, because that seems like where that's all the money goes. But it's actually, we're fundraising for Alberta Health Services North Zone Area 10, which is the Conklin to Fort Chipewyan region. So it's supporting AHS projects in that region. Most of it feels like it goes to the hospital.
Right.
And then, of course, we've spent about 5 years working on the gratitude campaign, and that was all pretty much at the hospital. So it's minimally invasive surgical suites, so that's bringing in surgeries that haven't been able to be done here in the communities, so urologies and various other things. Palliative care, totally renovating a couple of rooms and turning it into 3 huge family-friendly suites which are well in use. It's an unfortunate side effect of
Yeah.
dying, but at least we now have proper spaces for it. And we help purchase equipment. We help purchase new technologies that are coming, innovations. We support programs that you may never even hear of, like the Baby Friendly Initiative, which has been supported by the Health Foundation for 5 years now. And our public health is working towards their certification in baby friendly, and this is be a baby friendly community. So
Right.
you can be breastfeeding wherever you need to be. You can be doing whatever the supports are. There's a milk bank. These are all odd little things, but they're supported through Health Foundation.
Right.
Because what happens is you're all taxpayers. We're all paying into service. That's pretty basic. And if you want the next level or advanced of or movement forward in a certain direction, where we see in this community children are really important, mental health is really important, making sure we have super strong infrastructure for emergency services. We may have deeper pots in some of those areas and then lighter in something else.
Right. Right.
We'll support programs that come forward, like in Janvier, a food security program for 3 years that we help support with creating community gardens. These are, you just don't hear most of them.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. You just kind of think hospital.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That's
Yeah.
it. And that's why I wanted you to
Yeah.
explain it a little bit. So
Yeah.
outside of your events though, and before we get into the Mac City Minute, because I think it's crucial to support, you have these events, people, and I think that's where most of like the large donations come from. But for the general population who wants to get involved outside of those events, how can they support you guys?
Oh, they're supporting through attending events. They're supporting through purchase raffle tickets. They're supporting through outright donations, and we do have a very large donor base of people who are engaged with us as donors. And remember, donations are charitable, but they're also a gift from the heart. So they usually have a story, and we're really happy to know that story about why they're invested in healthcare. They can be part of a volunteer base that's coming to help us out as well. It's just really the ways to get engaged are really endless, and the ways to support. Cash is king, of course, because we are always trying to fund something. So I should mention as well that the decisions for funding are not made by the Health Foundation staff. We have a community board of directors, and everything that's brought forward from Alberta Health Services comes through the Health Foundation. We present to the Finance Committee, who presents to the board and makes their decisions about what are the programs and how are we going to secure the funding. Sometimes we have money, so we have money from events, it's unrestricted, so the board can then allocate that.
Right.
Sometimes we don't, and we look at something and we think, boy, there must be a group that's interested in helping to support that, so we might go and talk to them first.
Yeah.
Or there might be, if it's especially a capital development, there might be a reason for a larger corporation to come and be involved in it.
Fascinating.
Lots
So yeah,
of ways to do it.
there's a lot more than just getting the money to give to the hospital.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
it doesn't. It's a full business like anything else, and there's a lot of thought that goes into every action. And so both on the health services side, they're not prepared to put projects in front of us that they can't support, right?
Right.
So
Right.
there's a great deal that happens long before it comes to us, and then our work. Sometimes it can be 18 months before we can say, yeah, we're good now to support that one.
Yeah.
We've got the funds put together.
There you go. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're going to put you a little bit on the hot spot.
Uh-oh.
It's a segment called the Mac City Minute. So this is when the man behind the camera gets to put his voice on film. So Tanner, hit us with the Mac City Minute, please.
Question number 1 for you today. What has working with the hospital taught you about the people of Fort McMurray?
Oh, well, it's really taught me that people are generous and that health is super important to everybody. We see it right from when they're coming in as maternity patients, maybe feeling a little stress and looking for, to go to the non-stress test area and have that baby monitored, right through to, putting a name on a wall for the baby, and then they're attending an event. We just see the people in all the stages, and it's really rewarding.
Question number 2 for you today. What is your favorite part about working for the Northern Lights Health Foundation?
I have a great team and a great board. These are really good reasons to work there, and I think knowing that your actions are causing a reaction within the community and it's developing something. I really have this belief. I know this is supposed to be a quick minute. Belief that we have to do all this together. We still remain an isolated community up here, and if we don't build it, nobody else will. So we got to keep going on that strength.
Question number 3. Growing up, did you think you'd be doing what you do here in Fort McMurray?
I grew up on an Air Force base. Started out in Nova Scotia, then Prince Edward Island, then over to Germany, and then ended up in Cold Lake. I had no clue. But I will tell you, both my parents were largely involved in the Lions organization. So I have grown up in marching bands, supporting, you name it, everything that had to be done. Us kids were involved with it. We were part of the Lions as, I guess, Cubs. So that service mentality has stayed with me. So I didn't know this would be it, but this is it.
Question number 4. When you want to relax, what do you do?
I'm an escapist. I love to read. I love to make little drawings of meaningless to most people, but I like to do it anyway. I like to, go for some walks, but mostly I like to just get in my pajamas and read.
Last question for you today. What's one thing people can do to support your cause that they might not know about?
They might not know that they can donate through lots of different tools. There's our website, on social media. Even if you use the Facebook app to make a donation, it will eventually make its way through to us. We'd rather know you. We'd rather that you come through our web portal. But you can phone. You can talk to me anytime. All the numbers basically ring to my cell phone now that we're sort of working remotely. But honestly, just call us, talk to us.
Those have been your 5 questions.
There you go. Now those 5 questions. Marching band.
Marching band.
What instrument?
Well, I was a majorette.
I don't know what that means.
Well, fantastic. A majorette is the one with the batons. I was a twirler. Little white boots, little red skirt.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. My dad was a snare drum player, and my sister and I were majorettes.
Have you retained any of those skills?
Oh, yeah, you should see me with a golf club. I'm out there. I'm like twirling my putters mostly, because everything else is too long. But yeah, just kind of,
Wow. Listen, I'm not a big fan of golf if I don't have to, but you and me are going golfing this year because I want to see this trick.
A lot of dancing goes on in the golf course for me. I just can't stay still. I don't golf worth, beans, but I can still do that.
Oh, that is so cool. See?
Your body has muscle memory for everything you ever learned.
Right. See, this is why I do the Mac City Morning Show, because I love to learn weird things about people, and that is super unique. That if I wasn't doing this show, I don't know if I've ever would have come up with that one. So cool. All right, well,
we did it.
That's it. So Cindy, thank you very much for coming today. That's the end of our time, but please, I hope that you'll be coming back again and again.
Hey, anytime.
I tell this to all my guests. I truly mean it. Please come back, especially with the foundation if you have anything going on. This is a great way to kind of showcase and get it out there.
Perfect.
Cool.
Thank you.
So everybody at home, once again, thank you very much. Elliot Pierre, Mac City Morning Show. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking the time to tune in today and for every other episode that you've tuned into. And I was talking to my mom yesterday about this show, and she didn't know because she missed an episode. And she said, "Hey, Elliot, I missed an episode. How can I see it?" Now, I know that sounds kind of silly, but it was a question she had. So if you've missed an episode and you're unable to find it on Facebook or you're only seeing the clips, please go check out the YouTube channel. Everything is saved there.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Don't forget to subscribe. Listen, this might not sound like a lot to some people, but over the weekend we had 8 subscribers, and when I checked yesterday, 45 subscribers on YouTube. So
people want to hear.
That's it. Yeah. So yeah, subscribe on YouTube. That's a way to easily find the videos if you're not looking on Facebook. So other than that, have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
I just